Hi everyone, this is Sister Ruth. It is Tuesday the 19th of September 2017. President Trump is or just has spoken to the UN. Not sure if that speech has finished yet. I will cover that in a separate video if I think it's necessary, because I want to have a look through the transcript of what was actually said. Obviously North Korea likely to be high on the agenda for that UN meeting, but I will reserve judgment until I've had a chance to read through that transcript, or at least see the speech in full, because I know how the lamestream media likes to take one sentence out of speeches and milk it for all it's worth. So I'm not going to comment on anything until I've seen the whole thing or read through the whole thing. So this is a FEMA map as we stand. You know, I've been working on this map if you've been following me for a while. This is states that have a declared state of emergency involving FEMA. This is taken from FEMA's website, not the map, but it has been compiled from the list on FEMA's website. And we have fires going on in the West Coast and in Montana and Utah. We have a flood situation in Idaho that they're responding to, and we have obviously the hurricane damage from Harvey and Irma in the southwest. I need to add in a sticker down here somewhere. It's not going to be particularly clear, people, so I will warn you about that in advance. But just know that when I put this storm logo on down here, Maria is currently over the Dominican Republic and has sustained damage. And Dominican Republic, let me go to FEMA website. So this is a list that I am taking that, or I've compiled that map from, and it is just for the declared disasters that were declared after the solar eclipse. So anything before that is not included on that map. So you can see that we have today, or yesterday rather, the US Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico, and I think they were already on the list from Irma, but I should probably put a logo down there in that bottom corner of the map, just so that the people in those island regions remain in our thoughts and prayers, because obviously they are now at in the hands of the likes of FEMA, and some of those islands are virtually uninhabitable at the moment. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you an update on the storms that we have out in the Atlantic at the moment. That is, of course, Jose and Maria. So let's go to Venture Sky. And this is today. You can see Maria down here in over those islands I was talking about. Jose just off looks like around about the Richmond, Virginia area, roughly. My American geography is not hugely great, but I did look up that area on the map yesterday, so I think that's roughly where it is at the moment, off the coast there. The winds is showing up 64 miles sustained. Irma, on the other hand, was a Category 5 when it made landfall at those islands. I think it has now dissipated down to a 4, but I am not certain that it will stay that way. We need to see what happens as it moves further north. So this is Jose tomorrow. Obviously, UN meeting going on all week. And this is what I was saying yesterday about Jose reminding me of being that thunderstorm that's going on in the background as anything ominous happens in horror movies. That is what Jose reminds me of. It's just going to hang there in that kind of area all week. Winds are probably not going to be... I mean, it does have, obviously, hurricane force winds in the actual eye, 78 mile an hour, 80 mile an hour. But I think it's going to stay category 1 unless they do something to it. And it will, your main problem is going to be water, rain, storm surge, that kind of stuff. So here comes Maria up off of those islands. It go forward to the 21st. 21st is, of course, the UN World Day of Peace, and the theme for this year, if you missed the video yesterday, is peace and safety for all. And we know that Scripture tells us that when you hear them talking about peace and safety, sudden destruction shall come. And it's interesting to note that as we're moving closer to the day of the alignment, the Revelation 12 alignment, that we have the names Jose and Mary in play in these two storms. Jose, of course, is the Spanish form of Joseph. Mary obviously relates to the biblical Mary, mother of Yeshua, or Miriam as her Hebrew name would have been. And Mary just happens to have been spawned in this Virgin Island area. It wasn't like Lee and Jose that were coming across from the African coast like storms normally do. This one started off down here. So that's very odd. But it's probably just coincidence, right? Yeah, of course it is. So, Friday 22nd. And you can see the eye of Lee is getting less organised. Oh, sorry, Jose is getting less organised as Maria approaches. And you're going to see that Maria is going to start sucking some of the energy out of Jose. So Maria is currently off the coast of Santo Domingo, going forward to Saturday the 23rd. Stormy weather also on the 23rd for the west coast of Ireland and northern islands of Scotland. With this thing up here, it's just going to be scraping the edge of the Irish coast on the 23rd. So this, you see, Jose just hangs there like a bad headache that wouldn't go away, like I said yesterday, or like my cough, which is still lingering. And you see here from these winds that they are coming down, being drawn into Maria. It's a little hard to know with certainty what Maria is going to do by this point. Remember, these models can change quite drastically once you get even a couple of days out. They're fairly accurate up to 5 days out, but after 5 then they can really start to vary wildly as to where they predict the storm going. Still 100 mile an hour winds around the eye there of Maria. Jose finally dissipating, finally giving the New York area a break. This could be bad news for Jacksonville area if this does follow this track, as the tidal or storm surge could be getting dragged into the Jacksonville area. You got away with it with Jose a bit. It looks like Maria may be coming that way, though. Again, this could change before the beginning of next week. It could easily do something completely different. But at the moment, it's looking like Maria, beginning of next week, possibly heading for the Carolinas. So heads up for you guys down there. We'll show you the cones of uncertainty and the spaghetti models for both. This is a cone of uncertainty for Jose. And you can see, now remember with these cones, it is where the eye is going to be, not where the outer edge of the storm is. So the outer edge of the storm could be quite a bit further inland than that white line you see there. This is the spaghetti models for Jose, and as you see, it's really chaotic. Nobody has a clue what it's going to do, except it's going to kind of lurk in that bay area. That's about all they can say with any degree of certainty. Maria, this is a cone of uncertainty. You can see coming up, and again, this is where the eye of the storm is going to be. It's going to hopefully decrease from a major hurricane to a regular hurricane, and we need to see where it's going to go once it leaves the Bahamas. So certainly a heads up for anybody on the eastern coast of Florida, Georgia, South Carolina and North Carolina for Maria, as that makes its way northwards towards the end of this week, beginning of next week. And these are the spaghetti models. Again, this is where the eye is going to go, not necessarily where the outer edge of the storm will be. There's one model here, I'm not sure which one it is, it looks like there's coming inland, another one may come inland. They really don't know at this stage, so again we will be keeping our eye on Maria. So that is what I wanted to show you as well, was a clip from a video on regarding something I'd picked up on when I did the video about I think the video is called United States of Emergency, that video. It was about a week or so, a couple of weeks ago. It was soon after Irma had hit, I think, when I started doing this map. And I said that I wondered if this was going to be a prelude to martial law. And I said I was expecting something to happen on the East Coast that would give Trump a reason to declare a nationwide state of emergency that would then be a prelude to martial law all across America, which we know has been in the works for years. They've just been waiting for the right disaster, the right opportunity to go forward with the plan. And I don't know if these storms are that opportunity, or if they are going to be used as a cover story. For example, the one sitting off New York, are they going to use that as a cover story, an excuse for taking down the power grid in the northeast, something like that? Never trust these people and the way they think and plan these things out. But we have all these fires going on the west coast as well. And I did talk a little bit yesterday about how it could be they're trying to secure the borders to try and prevent anybody from accessing the ports on these regions unless it is controlled by FEMA. That was video I did yesterday, Chaos Cast episode 2, if you want to check that out. But I want to play you a clip from a video that I found interesting. It was actually on my watch later list for a few days, so it was recorded I think about a week or so ago, so probably during Irma or soon after Irma. And this is from a channel called That Is Impossible, and I want you to listen to what he says about the resources being put into the East Coast, obviously to help and support the people who've been affected by these hurricanes. But then he goes on to say, what if something happens on the West Coast while everybody's over on the East Coast? Is this all just a big distraction and the actual main event is going to be on the West Coast? Okay, I'm going to stop that video there, but I will put the link for the rest of the video, or for the entire video, under this video when I upload it, so that you can watch the full thing for yourself. So, if we have potentially FEMA zones all the way up the East Coast, the only place that seems to be escaping at the moment is Mississippi. But I'm sure they'll find an excuse to go into there as well. Possibly they'll put some refugees in there or something from these events. But while everybody's attention is on the West Coast, could it be that something happens, on the East Coast? Could it be that something happens on this West Coast? There are 3 areas that are giving me cause for concern. The Cascadia mountain range has been having an earthquake swarm for quite some considerable time. So has the Mammoth Lakes area of California. San Andreas is obviously always a concern because they've always said that that one is overdue. So we always concerned for California if that thing pops. And also Yellowstone has been having a considerable earthquake swarm since I think it was middle of June. I think that started. They've had way more than their average annual number of earthquakes in the last couple of months. There was a 3.1 at Old Faithful at the weekend, and I think a 2.7 there yesterday. So there is reason to be concerned about some kind of event that could be manipulated on this west coast, while all the attention is being given to the east coast, and that would certainly then give them what they need to declare a national state of emergency and possibly request international assistance, and that would enable them to have UN troops welcomed into the United States with open arms. And that is what has been on the cards for a while. We've just been waiting for it and anticipating it for what seems like years. The one thing we need to know with these people is they are very patient, whereas most of us can barely think forward 1 week ahead. They plan and plot and manipulate and play the long game. This is a game that has been going on for centuries, and we are about to enter the final phase with the rise of that beast kingdom that the prophets warned us of. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on all these things from the UK, so that I can give you guys a heads up on what I see, how it's panning out from the big picture. I do find it interesting, talking of September 23rd, something I forgot to mention yesterday was that if you look at the schedule for CERN, they are currently on a shutdown, but they will be switching the machine back on this week. If you look at the little colour coding, it's currently on a technical stop 2. So recommissioning with beam, that happens Thursday and Friday of this week, and then the machine will be running, I think this is supposed to be the same colour as this pink here, so scrubbing until the 4th of December, when they'll be doing a special physics run. And then that's going to be then it's going to shut down for their winter break. So I did find that is very interesting timing indeed, that they will begin scrubbing the machine, or whatever that involves, to right on Saturday the 23rd of September. So that's going to be interesting. A lot of speculation about what CERN is up to, especially if you look at their own comments, their own papers, where they openly talk about the possibility of opening doorways, and that something may or may not come through. A lot of speculation that CERN is going to be the tool that is used to open up the pit. You can do some research on that if you are interested in finding out about CERN. You can look up people like Anthony Patch, people who specialise in CERN. It's a very interesting topic, but I cannot explain it in detail because my mind is not that way inclined. So you're better off doing your own research on that one. The other thing that's interesting, spoke a little bit yesterday about how I see the 23rd as being more about the arrival of the dragon with the seven heads, or the 7 crowns. Now, people who are into Planet X research often describe the Nibiru system as being a dwarf star with 7 planets. I did mention on the near Earth object list that there's one that they are watching on the 12th of October, which they say is going to be a close call. Now, of course, those of you who understand that the stars are not what NASA say they are, that these are spiritual entities. The Bible quite clearly uses stars and angels or messengers interchangeably. We don't know what this is. It's almost certainly not a lump of rock that's heading our way. So could that be the dragon heading our way? It is interesting that on October 7th or 8th we should have this meteor shower called the Draconoids. Draco, of course, is dragon. I only noticed this today, or only looked this up today. So is the alignment on the 23rd, is it right that John the prophet was trying to warn us about the arrival of the red dragon? And is the red dragon what people call Planet X or Nibiru, something that we know that the ancients wrote about, that they saw in the sky around about the time we believe Noah's flood happened? If you look at the Sumerian text, it looks like it was around the same time. So are we going to see that thing in the sky again? And is that a sign of the trouble ahead for us here on this plane, in this realm? Interesting times ahead. We need to be vigilant. We need to stay in prayer for our brothers and sisters in America who are getting hit hard at the moment. A big concern over the FEMA situation. Where are these people going? Where are they being taken? The lack of stories of people who have been taken to a camp as a result of one of these events is disturbing, to say the least. I would have thought in this day and age people would be coming out of there and YouTubing like crazy, saying what was going on. Have they all been sworn to silence? Were they told something while they were there? Are they still there? Have they been taken somewhere else? So all questions that need to be asked. Remember, these are, whatever the colour of the skin, whatever religion, they are all our brothers and sisters, and we should be concerned because this is a worldwide issue. The battle is worldwide. It is the Luciferian elite who are trying to bring forth that beast kingdom versus the rest of us. So we do need to keep our brothers and sisters in prayer wherever they are at this time as we go forward into these days. So I'm going to stop this video here. Please like, subscribe and share. It does help other people to find this information. I'm going to end the video as I usually do with the Aaronic blessing. If you do not wish to hear the blessing, you should end the video now. Yahuwah bless you and keep you. Yahuwah make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Yahuwah lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. May Yeshua be with you all.